Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Utah Community Thinking Tank. I'm your host, Sharon Kasleka, and I have a very special guest that I'd like to introduce you to here in a moment. His name is Kish North. He is one of the people at the forefronts for Utah Patriots and brought you a lot of the footage from the Charlie Kirk event, and they're doing so much out here. But before I bring him on, I wanted to share with you a little bit about the Utah Community Thinking Tank. Now, bear with me. I'm putting on my readers because I want to respect everyone's time that catches this on the replay. So we, at the Utah Community Thinking Tank, we are honoring Charlie Kirk and his love for God. We have a creative yet simple plan for the world to reconnect in a city near you. The second shot heard around the world started in Utah. So it is here that we are leading others to create a new and very simple plan that your government never thought of and bringing local communities together. We know you're going to love it. We already have 10 new groups here in cities within Utah as well as Florida in effect, and we are growing. A question for viewers. Has anyone out there figured out how are we going to bring our local communities back together after all the years of division? It's happening with Charlie's followers, and I'm just so excited. It's having a ripple effect. Let's delve just a smidge deeper. The Utah Community Thinking Tank figured it out, and we know you'll love our concept. We're keeping it simple and going back to the basics. I'm sure you all agree we need a safe local backup plan now. While the world news is popping off for people starting to awaken and being confused and scared, this is the perfect solution. It's free and everyone can participate, collaborate, and help thy neighbor and so much more. Members can host gatherings on Zoom or at home on so many topics that members in the community can pick and choose from and what resonates with them. It's a place for everyone to unlearn and relearn on all topics across the board while reconnecting with their people in their hometown. It's not all about politics, it's about people, we the people. There will be something for everyone. Charlie's followers around the world are doing an amazing job remembering Charlie and what he stood for. We have a plan to tie it all together locally in your hometown. So be sure to join our Utah Community Thinking Tank on Facebook. Even if you live out of state, that's going to be our main hub. This way you can read our group description and all the amazing ideas we have in place to get your minds thinking again the way God intended. Jesus preached, "You shall love thy neighbors as thyself." Our motto is simple: give 5 hours a month and help your neighbors in need, and we'll change the world by doing good deeds. Now, just imagine if every person in due time pitched in their volunteer hours in your local city. We could restructure communities quickly, efficiently, and have some fun while creating a safe place for our children to participate in. We're looking to have truthers start community thinking tanks in every city and state around the world so people have a safe place locally. Our concept is not all about politics, but about humanity and bringing us back together. Help thy neighbor. As we all know, there are way too many people that we know that have been suffering too long. They need us more than ever. People shouldn't have to travel an hour to participate in this mindset. It really starts with your local community. Just like General Flynn has been stating, it starts with community. If you build it, they will come. In our group description in the Utah Community Thinking Tank, you will find special guests in the intro of our interview with General Flynn, Kash Patel, and others. If you love our goal about community, share this today with your people in honor of Charlie Kirk. Let's finish what he started and come up with a plan to save the world together, one nation under God. Thank you. Thank you for your patience, Kish. I appreciate you. Just had to get that out. Are you there?
I'm here. I'm all ears.
Sweet. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to explain a little bit more about the concept of community thinking tanks. With no further ado, I'd love to bring on Kish North. As I mentioned, he is at the forefront on Utah Patriots. I encourage everyone to join their social media accounts. They were at the forefront of the Charlie Kirk event. Lots of information popping out of Utah, but without further ado, welcome, 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 buddy. And I just want to know from you if we can just get right to it.
Sure.
In 5 minutes or less, What was the vibe like before everything went down with Charlie Kirk at the event? Was it uplifting and just very positive?
Yeah, yeah. Let me clarify. You said something in your intro which was really interesting. We did security for General Flynn when he came out a few years ago. A bunch of us. I was invited to go do that. So we picked him up at the airport in Salt Lake on a private thing. And General Flynn said something exactly what you said. He said, "Hey, if you want to make a difference, change what's in your backyard. Don't try
Yep.
to change things on a federal level. Change in your own state, because that's going to be the biggest effect you can have as a community." So I give you an amen to what General Flynn said. It was very poignant back then, and it's even more important today.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I can't wait to interview with him someday because a lot of my people back at George Magazine were like, it'll happen. It'll happen. So
Yeah, General Flynn's a good
thank
guy.
you.
Back to your statement. I unfortunately I was in on a business trip in Nashville. Got back the night before at 8 p.m. I was scheduled to go because a bunch of my guys, we have a lot of people in our group, but we have a team we go shoot with and stuff, and they were going. So I had to go to the office early in the morning. And what happened for me was I got a lot of text messages. "Hey, Kish, where are you? You know, what's going on?" I said, "I couldn't make it." "Well, we're right here." And I was enjoying what I was seeing. I was watching it from my office, and I got a phone call from a gal. She was on your podcast the other day. We call her Lollipop. She was talking to you, and Stephanie, you interviewed Stephanie.
Yeah, yeah.
So, we love her to death, and we're really close. And she called me as it had just erupted, and she goes, Kish, what do I do? Charlie was just shot." And I'm like, "Come on, Steph, you got to be kidding me, right?" I thought it was a crazy joke. She goes, "Kish, he was just shot." I said, "Get out." So I immediately whipped out my social media, hadn't seen anything yet. And then my tactical team guys, we have a private chat. They're like, "Look what we just saw." And then
Yeah,
all of
you
a
guys
sudden,
got the videos. Your people got the videos like right for the
oh,
world to
yeah,
see,
yeah,
the
yeah.
proof.
One of my buddies was right on my one of my buddies after the fact sent me a picture, and he still broke up, him and his wife. They had just shook Charlie's hand, just got a hat from Charlie. Charlie gave his wife a hug, walked around the podium. He went up there, and I got a front and center video of the assassination. It was quite graphic because he was right there.
Yeah.
And we have
Yeah.
another gal who actually had blood spatters on her hat. So part of our Patriot group, a lot of our Patriots were there, but some were right on the front lines. And we've had to deal with the sorrow and the anger and the frustration and all those feelings that rush through people, even people like me that weren't on the ground, but people on the ground have to deal with a lot of anxiety, and they just don't know how to deal with it. So
I
back to
agree.
your question is like, what was the excitement? It was normal excitement, right? It was enthusiasm. Charlie was loved, and if people don't see that he was loved and adorned for his love for Jesus, and I've learned a lot watching Charlie over the years, but really post this traumatic incident that, and so many people have shown videos of Charlie and mentioned him, and there's been some wonderful podcasters and comments out there, but almost every sentence Charlie spoke, he included Jesus with it, right?
Yeah.
So, I was laying in bed the other night thinking about this whole thing and Charlie, and what came to me in my stupor of thought, because I'm just thinking when I'm laying there or praying, is, I look at this as a spear, a tip,
Mhm.
in our lives. And Charlie didn't talk about Mormons, Catholicism, born again Christianity, Methodist, Lutheran. He didn't say that. What he talked about was Jesus Christ.
Yep.
And as a person in the Mormon faith, and I've got children that are in the Calvary Chapel Church, I've got Calvary kids that are non-denominational. I got kids all over the place, right? And I got family.
Yeah.
But you know what I do love about this whole meaning that came out of this was, if you have a focus and an eye single to the glory of God and are focusing on Jesus Christ, what does it matter what building you reside in?
Bingo. Yep.
Seriously, I'm
I
sick and
agree.
I'm sick
Yep.
and tired of people pointing the finger at Mormons going, "You're not a Christian," or this group going, "You're not this," or this group going, "Really? Hey, you know what? If you're on the path to Jesus Christ and trying to do better every day, God bless you." That's
Yeah.
my spiel on that one.
Yeah.
How dare
However, if I can interject, we also know there's a lot of corruption in a lot of the corporate churches to a degree,
but
but
once
I get what you're saying.
But
Yep.
once again, we're talking about the business of a church. I'm talking about you as an individual and your heart. If you're
Yeah.
focused on Jesus Christ, I
Hmm.
should have no say on your sin or what you're doing. Good for you. Enjoy your walk in Christ. That's
I
my
agree.
message.
I love it. I love it. That totally makes sense. That totally makes sense. Um, so let me ask you, when everything had first happened and so forth, they got sidetracked with someone they thought that was the shooter, and then you find out later, it's a kid, but there's a lot of there's a lot of information floating out there that about the shot, where it came from, and so forth. So can you clarify for people what actually happened from the Utah Patriots perspective, if that makes sense?
Well, I can't speak for everyone that's in our group, right? There's thousands
Mhm.
of people that, I mean, I've got 130,000 followers on Instagram. I can't speak for them all, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's a bunch of haters that follow me as well.
I
But
know, isn't it creepy that they all follow
yeah,
people that they hate just to hate on them more?
really, it's like, come
I
on,
mean, it's
dude.
like, come on, people.
Go
For the
go
love
follow.
of God, right?
Yeah, go stay on your Jimmy Kimmel page. Don't follow me.
I know. What a tulip, huh? Jeez.
So great question. As an avid shooter and with a little history behind me and other people is George Zim. Let's use George for an instant, the old man that was jumping
Yep.
up. And I've said stuff in Candace Owens' platform and others. We know George. George
Hmm.
has been to almost every event I've ever done over the years. He always
Yep.
shows up. He always eats our food and fills his plate full, and he takes a bus and he shows up and he wants rides everywhere, and he's a quirky, kooky guy. He just is.
Yep.
Was he in bed with the shooter? No. Was he an obstructionist of some kind? Well, at that moment he became one, but that's George. That's him. He's just an obnoxious asshole kind of guy. That's just what he was. I
Yeah.
don't think he had any planned method to get involved here. It was just that's what you asked my personal opinion, and
Okay.
there's many people that know George. George has a history of some legal issues and making some threats to the LDS Church here in Utah, bomb threats and things like that. Well,
Hmm.
he's been dealt with. He's been, not able to visit those buildings and other federal buildings. So he has a history of, getting hung
Gotcha.
by he gets hung by the tongue. I like that saying. He gets hung by the tongue quite often. So
I
that's
like it.
George. That's George. You writing that one down?
Yep.
Yeah, hung
I
by the
code in
tongue.
numerology a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, an
That's
old
what
mentor,
few people do.
a
Okay.
mentor of mine gave me that decades ago, getting hung by the tongue. So that's what he
Okay.
was.
Yeah.
When it comes back to, and you can interject to stop me if I'm rambling, but when it comes to the facts of what's happened here, there's been misinformation, lots of it. You've heard FBI come out and go, well, he was walking down the street with a 30-06 World War I 30-06 down his pants with a scope. Well, I put one down my pants the other day and tried to walk with it. No go.
Doesn't work.
Didn't work for me. Yeah, it doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
Being 6 foot, putting it in there, I mean, I couldn't do my pants back up.
Gotcha.
So problem
Thank
one.
you for clarifying his name too, because can you imagine just the hate and so forth that some people might still have for him and not know what really happened? So this is a good,
One on George.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
but they're going to throw the book at him. That's what they'll do. So the shooter, Tyler, right? Tyler. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't the so-called shooter. Let's just the so-called shooter. The one
Mm-hmm.
that confessed verbally. Then you got him supposedly changing his clothes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Breaking his rifle down, having a fob of some kind, climbing up the back stairs, access, getting on
Mm-hmm.
the roof, staging there for approximately 30 minutes, so I've heard,
Okay.
um, shooting a weapon, uh, breaking his rifle back down. And we've seen multiple experts try to break a rifle down. of this
Mm-hmm.
caliber and this make and model. I believe one of them did it in 1 minute and 20 seconds or 2 minutes and 20 seconds. That's how long it took to break it down.
Interesting.
They say they found a handprint and an armprint at one point in time. They say they found a screwdriver on the roof, but you need a screwdriver and an Allen key. And this is done by sniper experts. These are gun guys.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know the history of Tyler and his expertise in a rifle. I
Yeah.
don't think it's very deep, but what do I know?
Yeah.
Then you see him running off the roof, running, nothing down his pants. Supposedly the rifle potentially broken down in that black bag. You see him
Mhm.
throw the black bag to the ground, which floats like the old days with a an army guy on it and a parachute we used to throw off
Like the G.I. Joe guy,
the
those
GI
little
Joe guy, and
figurines.
it
My
kind of
brother had those.
flutters down to the ground with nothing in it, and he jumps down, puts the rifle back together, changes his clothes, puts it in a forest. I don't know how many forests around that community. It's not a forest. I don't know why they call it a forest. You might have some bushes or trees. Then
Yeah.
places some nicely placed uh, shells, spent rounds or just shells with language on it, and makes a vigil or a shrine, right? And then he casually walks away and gets picked up in a car and leaves. That's the story we're led to believe, right? That's what we're led. And let me
Mhm.
tie in today at DHS and ICE in Texas, where a shooter went today, shot into the building, and didn't hit any officers for sure, and left spent shells or shells with writing on it as well. Do we see a pattern here? Do we
Yeah.
see a
I
cut?
wanted to catch up on that story after we did
Yeah,
this
I was just
Zoom
tying that
because
in
I heard it.
quickly.
I was like on
Yeah.
at the ice. I mean, that of all places, you would think that would be like Fort Knox, you know?
Oh, no, no. We go out Fridays. So there's a group here in Salt Lake City, and I'll tie back into the shooting here in a minute. We go
Yeah.
out, DHS here, building in West Valley. The left goes out and protests there every Friday at 4 p.m. here in Utah. And they go out, and a couple of my guys, four of my guys go every Friday to kind of stand there and play a protection role. And the reason why people go, oh, yeah, you're playing a protection role. Well, we do. These leftists went and spit on the guard shack and harassed them a few weeks ago. And we're like, not on our watch. I remember the days when Black Lives Matter came out. We suited and booted and went out there. And that's how we kind of got into this movement. It was like, you're not going to touch our police officers and our
Yeah.
first responders. Screw you. There's we the people are going to stand up and say no more. Well, we feel that happening in our community again. So,
Yeah.
like last week, we went out and we had crazy people fronting us up, yelling and screaming. And that same girl made a threat on Facebook the other day and threatened to kill. Oh, I don't know if I can say that here. Threatened to unlive all us MAGA. Well, she's
Well, this
being
is for entertainment purposes only in our
yeah,
own personal opinions, because you
yeah,
know you
yeah.
have to say that. But
So back to our friend Charlie.
yeah.
So we've seen multiple people, experts, analyze the exit and entrance wound.
Yes, I was catching that on, I was getting an update on your Facebook page, reading up on
Well, if you
something.
follow me on Instagram, I posted a video today of an expert that showed potentially, hypothetically,
Hmm.
where the bullet entered and exit because everyone has claimed that the entrance was in the front of the neck.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
I posted a video on Facebook. Did you see that one about the watermelon?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Well, and people are like, well, you know, the body's not like a watermelon. Really? Have you shot through have you touched your neck recently and seen the limited amount of bones in there? I
Yeah.
mean, you're telling me that a 30-06 round that can range between 135 grains to 275, somewhere between that, wouldn't just pulverize and rip that? I mean, I remember shooting my antelope with a 30-06 or a 308, and it goes in like this and blows it out, right? It
Oh,
just shatters the bones. And then they say, well, his bones were like, you know, titanium. I mean, come on. We can love and support and respect our fallen, but let's be real, guys. Let's truly be real here. You know, a lot of these guys shoot elk and moose and see what a 30-06 round does to those bones. I'm sorry, it's just not, and then they say, well, he had a plate on. Well, they did a forensic look at that, and at one point in time, you see Charlie's nipple under a shirt. So I don't know how he could have a vest on.
Mm-hmm.
I got a vest from the Afghanistan when they wore it there, my buddies and stuff, and you can't see anything through it. It's fairly thin,
Mm-hmm.
and they make thin ones, but it's not a John Wick vest, right? We're not talking John Wick style vest,
Great movie, by the
right?
way.
So
Yeah.
and then they say, well, it was a deflection. The last video I posted on Facebook this morning, if it doesn't take me down Instagram, shows, and Noelle, a good friend of ours, went to UV.
Oh, I met her at the hospital. She was a
Yeah.
little firecracker. I liked her.
Yeah, yeah. Noelle went and showed where potentially on if Charlie was sitting down to his right, how a shot potentially came from that angle and came down here and exited here. And an expert showed potentially how that happened. So there's a lot of misinformation, a lot of people speculating. But I'll tell you this, my personal opinion is
Mm-hmm.
there's a deep state going on. There's something underneath of this.
I
And
agree.
we will not ever find this out, I don't think, unless somehow, some way, someone undercovers something odd or someone confesses. But it's amazing how fast they completed
Boomer
this.
start.
No, they completed this from A to Z. I mean,
Gotcha. Okay.
as popular as he is, but it's just crazy how, other times you never see technology exposed like this. The text messaging and how beautiful it was. It was like AI generated, right? It's beautiful. Oh, plus in between all of the shooting, he had time to text his trans lover. Really?
I know. I know. It's just,
If anyone would just think, and on my page, people are going, "Come on, Kish, they caught him. Just leave it alone." Well, that's because you got your head in the sand and you just don't want to think. I mean, that's what happens to Utahns a lot. They just like they got this blinders on, and
I've
all
noticed.
all's well in Zion. Just let it be. It's all good. It's like no.
Dude, I moved from New Hampshire out here and we don't put up with any baloney. Like we are diehard, like do not mess with us, even though I know there's, they're on the
Isn't Jeremy Harrell from your state?
Ooh,
No, Jeremy Harrell.
his name
You don't
sounds
know
familiar. Please excuse me if I don't.
Oh, you need to follow Jeremy Harrell. Come on now, your fans need to.
Okie dokie, I'm writing that down.
There
Yeah,
you go.
but
Big
I
guy.
agree with you. People, I mean, one thing that I've learned, Kish, is I've been in some open debates with people on the far left, people you consider your friends and so forth. And you're like, I don't get how they just can't see through this. But how I actually, if someone wants to debate, all I have to say, and I do it in person though, is list me our constitutional rights. Just do that for me. And they can't do it. They don't know what their rights are.
Yeah.
Do you find the same thing? It's like, if you don't know your rights, how can you judge us? You know what I mean? People that are standing up for truth and justice and
Well, you ask a good question. I unfortunately don't have any leftist friends.
gotcha.
But when
Trying
I
to keep
do,
the peace, I
but
love a lot of people that I'm friends with. It just breaks my heart, but we're all on our own journey. I
but
mean,
when I do discuss with them at these events, they're so
mm-hmm.
hostile sometimes, right? They're just crazy hostile. And yeah, I mean, I could tell you a litany of stories of being at events where, but I've had a few conversations with the left, let's just call them the left-bearing people, and a good friend of mine, Ryan, it's like I learned a valuable lesson recently about prejudging people. It's difficult. You look at Ryan, he looks like that singer that's got tattoos everywhere. What's his name?
That Post Malone guy.
No, well, and Post, but he's got. So my buddy Ryan has tattoos under his eyes, bald head, and he's got tattoos from here, everywhere, right? Everywhere.
Uh-huh.
Fit
Yep.
guy, 40, and you look at him and people be like, really? I'm not going to take my kids around him. But, I've got to know him and appreciate him, and he's such a deep thinker, right? So,
Love it.
quick
Yep.
story. I'm sure your audience will like stories. We were at an event
Yeah.
3 weeks ago, downtown Salt Lake. The lefties came out. It was Indivisible Utah, it's called, and 5051 and PSL. They were doing some event of overthrow the kings, no kings in our country, and this kind of thing.
Uh-huh,
Okay?
uh-huh. Yep.
So we decided this time we're just going to sit on the bench in Salt Lake and put our banner up. We put a thing that said, it has a picture of Donald Trump with a patch over his eye as a pirate. You paid, I'm doing all you paid me to do. That's all it says. Okay. That's all it says. And
Which,
he's
thank goodness gracious, because we'd all be gone by now,
right.
right?
And it's just a poster, right? So we're
Yep.
sitting there, and this, oh, I'm old, but this old cantankerous guy walks by, and the cops were beside us, and they're always hanging out with us. And they walk by, and F Donald Trump, he gets a rah, 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 rah. So Ryan goes, what? So the guy started spewing his beliefs on us.
Uh-huh.
And I hope I get this across. Ryan goes, well, you say their beliefs, but where did you get your idea from? Share with me where your idea came from. And he
Yeah.
goes, well, I believe this, and I believe. He goes, no, 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 no. What does your idea stem from? Because if it's CNN or something, tell me where your idea, and I'll tell you where my ideas come from. But he says, and this is where the point came to me. He's like, beliefs are like religion. Beliefs are really embedded. Beliefs are hard to change. Ideas leave you open for change because new information comes in and you're able to change your ideas. And I was like, this thing, I'm like, wow. So the guy left finally, he stormed off, and I'm like, tell me more about what you just said. And I got 21 years on this guy, right? I figure I know a little more, but I'm always open to learning from people. He's like, well, Kish, he says, your religion you believe in, I get that. Really hard to change that because it's embedded in you. But all these ideas people are getting from social media are just ideas. They're not belief systems. If they
Bingo.
become belief systems, then they're never going to change. He says, but if you keep them ideas and all of a sudden new data comes in, like Charlie's data, these people that go, that was a shooter, Ryan was a shooter, he knew it all, he figured it all out, and someone gives you new information, they're like, no, screw that, that's not true. Like, well, hold on
Yeah.
here. It should be an idea. You gathered your data, it's an idea.
Yep.
Be open to other ideas that could potentially change that. That's
Yeah.
my message on that story. I learned a lot from him in that moment.
I love that because honestly, when I moved from New Hampshire, I've never moved out of state before, Kish. So this was a big deal for me. And I remember driving through Salt Lake. We didn't have a homeless problem, just in small little areas. When I came out here, I was like, what the heck is going on? And
Sure.
I don't mean any disrespect to the church, but I was like, how come people are not helping them? They're not all druggy. So I actually started to volunteer at Showers of Hope on Wednesdays at Liberty Park. And we've had a lot of success stories with the homeless. But my point is that there's a gentleman that helps Renee, and he's able to talk with a lot of the homeless people. We had a whole system. You write people's names down for a shower. We bring warm food, clothing, hygiene products, you name it, even food for the dogs. But my point is that he's sharp. He's very people oriented. He's always looking out for others. He was homeless years ago. I think he said he's 3 years clean, him and his wife, tattoos all over his face. He interviews wonderfully on the phone. And as soon as they go in person or they do a background check, it's like, you know, hurt people do drugs because something traumatic has happened in their life. It's not that you know what I mean? And it
Yeah.
just breaks my heart because this guy is sharp. He is personable. He works so hard. And so if you know anyone that is looking to hire someone, he would go above and beyond. So I'm just planting that out there as an
Yes.
example of not to judge people,
Yes. Yeah. It's interesting. Coming from California 10 years ago, we used to be heavily involved in taking care of the homeless down there. Fridays, we'd close our office and we'd go in Santa Ana and feed and stuff. Coming to Utah, I started getting involved and I realized that there's a difference. What I learned is there's three kind of homeless people in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Ones that will never get off the street.
I agree.
I've talked to hundreds and hundreds. Ones that are just like, don't give me roof, don't give me walls. I just want to be out here, leave me alone. Uh,
Yep.
you've got others that are transitional homeless. You do have that. This was in California. And then you had in California people that would come and lie about being homeless to take food and clothing. That's just what we had. We had a lot of Hispanics that would, be 20 in a home, and when they knew you were coming, they'd get the food and the clothes, and they'd go back and resell the clothes and stuff. So that's kind of what I saw in California. When I came here and we started going downtown, Christmas, Thanksgiving, and stuff, they're overfed, they're overclothed. Christmas time, there was scads of clothes all over the ground, food everywhere, disorganized, and I'm like, well, that doesn't
Why
work.
isn't Governor Cox and everyone doing anything about it? I mean,
Well, they just approved a new facility in Salt Lake, but they spend $10 million, $10 million budget for the homeless in Salt Lake. You give me $10 million, dude, I could make a huge difference in dent. There's a new truck out, and I forget the name of it. This truck is a box truck. They've created it. You walk in one side, you shower, shit, and shave, and you come out the back side fully clothed. It hooks up to a fire hydrant. It's beautiful.
that's kind of along the lines what Renee does with Showers of Hope in
Yeah,
Liberty
it's
Park.
beautiful. Utah should spend money and buy 4 of these, create an organization, and go do it. So what we
Yeah.
did in California was the LDS Church has a huge employment center. So
Mhm.
we had some success stories where some people were transient. They lost their home, their jobs, they didn't know what they were doing. And we hooked a few people up that were engineers and just people that were kind of transient, and they got jobs. There's a
Yeah.
good way to get your buddy Renee hooked up with the LDS community.
They actually they donated was it 80 or $90,000. She ended up getting a second trailer, so I thought that was wonderful.
Yeah, so there's ways to do it. So I think the homeless situation's a travesty, especially you got a shitty mayor, right? Mayor Mendenhall's just a piece of work.
Ah,
He's just
I've
terrible.
heard so many nightmare stories and personal stories from people. I'm like, that's pure evil. Like she,
Oh, her and Cox has got to go. They're just terrible. They're getting nothing done.
yeah.
So welcome to Utah. So back to the Charlie Kirk. We'll kind of morph back. Is
Well, can I interject real quick on the homelessness
Yeah,
situation, though, real quick in Utah? So, what I have found, especially after the last administration, a lot of people, even if they're on their own, the cost of living, they couldn't do it, and a lot of them still had a job, but they're like, I am homeless because I can't even afford a place to live on my own. That's a big, big problem here in
yeah,
Utah right now.
yeah. So
And
so
and the one thing that I love is we have a handful of success stories where they took the help, they worked hard, and one guy, John, cutest, sweetest guy. He was one of them. A lot of them don't do drugs, not all of them do it. He was a rare, rare story, but he's so, so sweet, just kind and gentle, no teeth or anything, but he ended up getting a job with the state, driving a bus. They ended up paying for him to get new teeth and everything. And he was so proud of, you
great.
know what I mean? It's just when you can help people like that, I mean, shit, none of us know when we're ready to hit rock bottom.
None
We
of us.
want someone to help us and not judge us. I mean, yeah, if you're, it's, but anyhow, I
Yeah.
agree. I think the state needs to do a lot more because this homeless situation has really gotten out of control.
Well, two shout outs then. I'm going to give a shout out to the Calvary Church down in Salt Lake. We've done every Christmas, we usually do a canned food drive, but they feed hundreds of people every week, the Calvary Chapel
Yeah.
Church down there. Hundreds. So those people that have a home and a job but can't afford food, they go there and eat weekly and daily. So that's good. The LDS Church here donates, you can't even quantify the money they donate, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They help a different class of people a lot, right? They help their members and non-members that are just on hard times temporarily and stuff. So, forget about the religion. Let's talk about their help, right? When it comes to the
Yes,
need.
I believe the members are amazing. I'm going to be completely honest. I found Jesus Christ. He arose in my heart like years ago. I lost my faith in the Catholic Church. I just sat there in high school going, we're all going to hell. They pumped fear in me so much. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? I'm
yeah.
like, she's pregnant in high school, that mom, and I'm like, I don't know. It was really hard for me, but I admire the members that go above and beyond and help others. I'm not gonna lie, I do have a problem with the big, big, sexual abuse amongst some people, and I hope that gets taken care of. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I think we can call that out in every church nowadays, right?
Correct. I agree. I
You
agree.
know, but it's not the church, it's the people. It's people
Yeah.
within the church, right?
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah,
So, I once again, that steer, the spear and the tip should be Jesus Christ.
absolutely. I
Whatever.
talk to him all day long. I must annoy him. I'm like, well, what about this? What about that?
Charlie says that, and I've always been taught this, I don't know how to do it, is if you can put Jesus Christ into every one of your situations and how he would react and act, we become more Christ-like.
Yeah,
I don't do it. I try
yeah,
to do it.
yeah.
So,
You're a fighter too, though, and we need people to kind of stir the pot a little bit to awaken people, like shit or get off the pot. Stuff's going down.
yeah, the good news is
I like
I
that.
believe in repentance.
I do too.
And, that's what it is. And Jesus is the difference, right? He makes up the difference.
Yeah. Can I share something? And before we move on to the topic on Charlie, real quick, one thing that we had learned through um George Magazine, we went to the George Magazine event and so forth. Only about 1% of the people know about this. The church, I have not found one church or school or anything that teaches this, and it is scientifically proven that we all have something within us called the laminin protein. And when you put it underneath a microscope, it looks exactly like a neon cross. Why don't they teach that in school? That's your DNA. That is your trigger within your body to be closer to Christ. And also, what I find interesting is, isn't it interesting now that when they pushed something, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That would have destroyed your laminin protein. Why don't they talk about this in church? And that's a big
Well,
thing. You don't have to be a certain religion. We all have it within us already. And that's what they were trying to destroy when that came out, if you know what I'm saying.
yeah, it's really amazing that in a lot of congregations, no one spoke about Charlie Kirk. They just didn't.
Really? Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but thank goodness the next month the congregation has an opportunity to stand up and speak. I have it planned.
Awesome.
Gonna
Well,
say
with that
something.
being said, is there anything else that you would like to touch base on real quick on Charlie? Because I was going to ask you to share with our audience what you have plans on doing out here in Utah, future events and so forth to bring the people together.
Sure, I want to share that what we did the day of the assassination, and I think you were there. We went to the hospital. I
I
had
was
an
at the hospital. Yeah.
Yeah, I had an outpouring of hundreds of people that text me and said, "Kish, it's kind of a heavy, but it's great when people reach out to me, right? They look at me as someone that can kind of organize. Like, Kish, we need to get together. We need to do something. We need to do something." So through our network, we found out where Charlie was at, right? We have people that are able to find that. So we found out what hospital he was at, and
Hmm.
we organized quickly, as you saw, and we're able to do a vigil, and we're able to, in the end, be able to stand at attention as Charlie's wife um, took her husband's body to the
Hmm.
coroner. And that's the least we could do at that point in time, right? And it
I
was,
was really proud of how you pulled everyone together because some of the ladies had told me about it and I just went right over there. I just knew I had to be there to at least pay my respects.
yeah, it's even people driving down the road,
They
uh,
were honking like crazy.
honking, but dropping off food. And some lady handed me flowers. I guess she bought for her house, and she's driving by and goes, "Here, put it at the vigil." And I was so touched. And then, you still got people flipping us off as they drive by. I'm like, step out of your car. Let me teach you a valuable lesson at this point in time. Because that's why I was so enraged, right?
Yeah.
Um,
It's
so,
it's it's really scary though. I mean, I think people are really, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but some of these people are getting really crazy. And I don't think they realize how they're being perceived now. It's almost like they can't think for themselves and use their own discernment that there's something bigger going on instead of going, Orange man, he grabbed a you know what? It's like, oh, and he cheated on his wife. I'm like, do you have anything else? Because I can probably guarantee you 90% of all your politicians have done that. Can you give me something else? It's
it's
scary. It's
it,
scary.
it's really past Trump in the sense where so many of the influencers out there, the big influencers, and people are going, well, the right doesn't do this. And, look at the vigil and all we do. We just pray and do vigils and stuff. It's like, yeah, some of us. But at some point in time, enough's enough. Do they really
Mhm.
want a civil war? I mean,
It's like
seriously.
they don't want us to come together, I feel like.
But
It's like,
my point is this.
yeah.
They would get their asses handed to them. The
Mhm.
moment we, the people, stood up and said, okay, you pull the trigger one more time, anyone, we're out there. The
Yeah.
other problem is the police department or civil servants that way, their hands are tied. See, in Salt Lake City, our mayor holds our police officers captive and only lets them use so many weapons and tools to defend themselves. And people
Mhm.
go, how do you know that? Well, I'll tell you exactly how I know it. We were in the front lines when Black Lives Matter was out here. And when what's his name?
Scary, huh?
Trump's VP Pence was out there. He came out to UVU,
Ugh.
right? So we went down there. We were out there, and I'm telling you, Black Lives Matter was out there. They were crazy. We were out there. The Proud Boys were out there. All the groups were out there, and it got nasty, right? And we
Oh
go,
yeah.
darn, we're prepared. And sure enough,
Mhm.
they're spitting in cops' faces. We stand in front, and they're like, "What are you going to do?" And the cop goes, "Well, they can do more than we can do." And we take care of business. So, and the cops tell us that, sometimes their hands are tied. I've been face to face in Black Lives Matter stuff where they are ready to pull guns and stuff, and cops get spit on and they could do nothing. Well, thank the Lord, Trump has said, you know what? If you get spit on, act. Thank the
Yeah.
Lord, right? But you still have mayors that go, no. You know what? If the police were allowed to police, a lot of this stuff would stop. It
Can
just
I
would.
ask you real quick though, in the state of Utah, do you feel like there are, and I think it's everywhere across the country, do you feel that there are a lot of corrupt police officers taking bribes and things like that?
I don't. I
Okay.
don't.
Okay.
I meet a lot of officers, not bribes and stuff like that. Do I feel that some uh, cities, the police chiefs are more liberal or more
Mm-hmm.
left wing?
Mm-hmm.
I do. But places like Cottonwood Heights, that police chief lets them police, right? Some
Mm-hmm.
some cities just let you be a police officer.
Yeah.
You go a little further south out of Salt Lake, they're policing. You go in
Yeah.
Salt Lake,
So grateful. I mean, I'm so grateful for them though. Could you imagine if they really did defund the police completely? It would have been helter skelter.
oh, it'd been anarchy. It would have been,
It would,
it'd be,
they don't realize it. And what's interesting too, Kish, is a lot of these deeply programmed people, and I'm going to say program because when you think about it, they're just regurgitating everything that they're hearing and not using their discernment. And what's even scarier is they don't even recognize that they're being played as a tool to make themselves look that bad. They're not working on trying to bring people together. They're trying to divide us and they're using the labels on every single level. Black Lives Matter, whatever day it is they choose. It's all a program and they don't realize that. They're being
yeah,
used to
yeah.
spread the hatred.
Well, and that's why Charlie, I listened to something the other day, and one of the, big guys says, Charlie and I, when we got going, Charlie went to raise some money. He goes, I want to go into colleges. And the answer, the guy that was going to lend money said, "Uh, going to a college is stupid, Charlie. Why would you go to a college?
Hmm.
And it's because they are indoctrinating our kids.
Oh,
So what we're talking
absolutely.
about, they want to indoctrinate. That's why when Charlie said he was going to UVU, almost 8,000 people signed a petition. We don't want Charlie. Why? Because it would have disrupted the indoctrination. You know,
It's that
even in
simple.
yeah, even in Utah, BYU, which is religiously owned,
Yeah.
is indoctrinating. People go, no, they're not. Really? We've sent cameras into the second floor of the psychology department, and on every door it has safe space, rainbow flag, and trans flag. You're not indoctrinating?
Yeah.
What are you
I'm
doing?
sick of that bullshit. And not only that, they're for a while, what state was it? They're putting up gay pride flags during, respecting our military. You know what I mean? On Memorial, I'm like, you guys, you do see this, right?
Yeah.
That makes no sense. That has nothing to do with our military.
Yeah.
And for
So
the lives that have been lost and the heartache of everything they've been through and lost lives and their family and everyone that's like that's a slap in the face.
I'll end with this. Charlie Kirk has empowered us.
Yeah.
It has brought out a religious revolution
Yep.
that probably hasn't been seen in ever, if ever.
We're
And
in biblical times.
we're living in the end of times, and this is a religious revolution, not and a spiritual revolution, right? Not a church revolution, a spiritual revolution, where
Correct.
we
I
should
totally
all
agree with you.
join hands and be sons and daughters of God and brothers and sisters of Jesus Christ and work in that. Mind you, in my faith and where I come from is it's not about kumbaya. It's not.
Hmm.
Jesus himself overturned tables. You know, good armies rose up against bad armies in battle.
Hmm.
There's only so much talking I can do. Seriously, there's only so much talking.
Well, I
And,
agree. I agree.
you
You can
know,
talk, I mean, like all of our pre-programs in our heads of, you can talk till you're blue in the face. You're not going to get through to
yeah,
anyone. It's
yeah.
because what I have learned is that we have been all, again, been so deeply programmed. And when I just have to get a giggle when I bring that up with people and they are like, oh, I can think for myself. I'm like, oh, really? Where do you get all your sayings from? How do you get all your gestures? It's through your entertainment. It's through your TV shows. You can talk to me all day long about that. But my point is when you bring that up, the program is people don't want to be wrong because that's going to make them feel stupid and no one wants to feel stupid. Where when I share with people, it's like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just asking you to being open, a little bit open to being open to realize this is what's been happening. This is the part that makes it biblical. This is what President Trump means when he talks about nonstop central casting. Your brains are getting programmed. So I digress. I could totally go on and on, but I agree with you. I mean, no matter what religion, as long as you love Jesus, that's it. I think eventually all of our religions are going to become one, just like they should be. Not
Well,
one religion is bigger or better than the other. That's part of how we were programmed as well.
and I'm all for people picking a church as their vehicle. I get it.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
heaven is a big place.
Mm,
Big place. And he died for all of our sins,
I
not just
know.
yours or mine.
I know.
And I'll share, I want to just dive into this quickly. People in our patriotic group have, they see us going out all the time and counter protesting. And they're
Yep.
like, oh my gosh, you're going out there, it's causing a problem. I had one group go, well, your brand is going to hurt my brand. Really? Really? And I thought today before I came on, because I've been thinking about praying, trying to humble myself of how to talk without using my other dictionary, right? My other adjectives. I said, what dictionary you're reading out of? So
Mhm,
I look at it this way. When there is a red ant colony growing in my backyard, the
mhm,
biting ants,
mhm,
and I don't address it and put raid or bait killer down, it
mhm.
will grow bigger and bigger and ruin my lawn.
Yep.
So in my mind, every time it comes up, I have to show that I am the boss, that I will not cower down and go in my house and let you build your castle. And
Yep.
that's how I feel as an individual. People go, why are you going out there? There's only four of you against 7,000. Okay. Look at Venezuela. Trump just sent down 2,500. 2,500.
Yep.
Who? Who did he send down? The best of the best,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Our best of the best. They said, well, there's 2 million. Okay, I'll bet my money on the 2,500 of my guys over your 2 million any day. It's
Yeah.
no different. I'll tell you this. Did you
I'm
know?
just so grateful. I'm just so grateful when people are awakened to realize how many bad people have come over the border illegally, that just like he says, rapists, drug dealers, cartel, like these people are like Satan's seed. And I'm just thankful for our military, our ICE agents, because gosh, I mean, we wouldn't even be around. We wouldn't
It
be
wouldn't.
around right now. you
You
know,
would.
and that just like when you can really sit with that, that I believe that is people a part of people's awakening process when they can think of it like that and be like, holy, you know what, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, those Marines, I'd take those Marines any day. And
Yeah.
yeah, so that's a good thing. So I want to dive into something. You said what's going on in Utah? Where do we go next, is what you were saying.
Yes.
What's next on the agenda?
Yeah.
Well, you're the first to hear this. Are you ready?
Oh,
You're the
goody.
first.
Oh,
Breaking news.
sweet.
You'll see a flyer tonight. I
Okay.
am doing an event here in Utah
Yeah.
on November 1.
Yeah. Did you find the venue?
I did.
Oh, was it any of the people I referred on those no? Okay.
No, but that's okay. I appreciate your help with that.
Yeah.
So I have Ben Bergquam confirmed.
Okay.
You don't know Ben, you better look him up. He's the guy that's been on the border fighting. Ben's coming out. I have Dave Bray. I don't know if you know Dave Bray.
These
He's
a lot of the names sound familiar because sometimes I go in and out. I kind of go in my own personal like going within process because sometimes the shit gets so serious. Excuse my language.
but once you
Oh,
look at Dave Bray, you'll go, oh my gosh, I've heard him sing.
okay.
Ex-sniper and stuff. So he's coming out. I'm waiting for another shoe to drop. I'll just see it. I'm hoping Jeremy Harrell comes out.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
I've got some local people. I've got Phil Lyman, who's running for governor
I
again.
love Phil. He's a
Yep.
good guy.
Dr. Moore's going to come speak.
Yeah.
And the lineup of good speakers is going to be great.
Sweet. So it's going to be on November 1st. Can you give me a time range? So for not yet?
I know it. I just, but it's, yeah. So we're going to have vendor booths, and
Oh,
then
and
we'll
do
break
you
the
have
vendor.
enough vendors or do you need more? Because I could let you.
It happened this morning. I'm telling you what, the beautiful thing, I prayed about it. I'm praying, I need some help. I need some help. And all of a sudden, in 15 minutes, I got the venue, I got accommodations for Ben, and I
Oh,
got Ben confirmed he was coming, and all this kind of fell together. So I have to go upstairs, talk to my wife. I have to get a committee. So we're going to put a committee
let me
together.
know if you need help because I'm really good
Of
at
course.
organizing stuff.
Yeah, I've
I used
got
to
five.
run my own business and I'm an inventor by trade. I sold to the big box stores. I'm good with setting up a lot of that if you
I'd
need help.
love to have you. So we're excited. I'm excited. And the purpose of this is to bring Utah together.
I
Our
agree. I
purpose
agree.
is to unite and
Yeah.
share with people how to do what I've done and
Mhm.
join groups and carry the light of Christ and carry uh,
Charlie.
Charlie's message forward
Yeah.
and be a
I agree.
freedom fighter. That's the goal to this. Utah needs this. We need to heal. And I think it's a great time for this, right? That's what it is. And the good news is for vendors, I never charge. My Patriot vendors are, they're small mom and pop places. And most vendors, I don't charge anything. The big box people are different, but most vendors,
Yep.
they sell little widgets and stuff, right? So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just let them
Yep.
go. So it'll be a secured venue. There'll be security there, and we'll make sure it's safe. And it's limited to about I think 2,300 bodies, so it's going to be a
Yeah.
decent sized venue. But
Sweet.
I'm real excited. My wife and I are to push this out and bring Utah together.
I love it. All religions welcomed in the name of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, except those that believe in killing the infidel.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll
Yeah. Yeah.
shy away from those guys. This isn't a
Yeah. Well,
religious
that's
thing.
exciting
This
news that
isn't
you
this
got
isn't
this
a
going on.
yeah, this isn't about what church you go to. This is about
That's my point. But a
yeah,
lot of
this
people feel that way, unfortunately. But it's time, just like all of our songs we grew up with, John Lennon and all them, like, imagine all the people, coming together as one, finally. I mean, I get excited thinking about that because I can feel it. It's gonna happen. It's already happening with the ripple effect of
sure.
Charlie Kirk. I mean,
Yeah.
one thing I wanted to ask you before I let you go, I know we're kind of running out of time here, but do you feel, because there's a lot of people out there that believe that what happened to Charlie is a representation or a parable of Jesus Christ himself? to a degree.
Yeah,
How do
I'm
you?
not going to make that comparison. Someone else said in a text to me, it's like, is this the ushering of the second coming? I'm like, just stop already. Just stop.
Okay.
I
Okay.
would, I would
Hey, I
take,
gotta be a good reporter. I gotta ask my questions.
here's what I would do. I would take this individually, personally, and see how it affects you. And I'll share this. When we went to the uh, hospital,
Hmm.
a friend of mine who's in our group, as soon as he saw me, a grown man, he rushed up and buried his head in my chest and just sobbed.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I don't know how to feel. I don't know where I go from here. I don't know what to do.
Hmm.
So I thought about that for a minute. And afterwards, the next day, I called him up because he was looking for some counseling. Not that I'm a counselor. But I said to him, here's what you should do, Chris. I said, here's what I would do in life is, and I told him a brief story about a buddy of mine several decades ago who was a Maori. He's true 100% Maori from New Zealand. He was telling me
Hmm.
a story about in where they're from is in the old days, in the old days when they buried a person, a family member, is the family would dig the hole by hand and shovel.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would lay the body to rest and they would each take turns laying rocks on top of the body. He says, in that moment of time was their mourning.
Hmm.
After they buried the body and finished the rocks, mourning would end and they would move forward with their life.
Hmm.
And I've taken that with me for decades. And I find that prudent in this moment. I shared with him. I said, don't forget, remember, it's like sin. We need to
Hmm.
forgive ourselves. We won't forget. We need to forgive
Hmm.
ourselves, but we need
Hmm.
to move on and take that light with us
Yeah.
and do something with it. And that was my counsel to him. And that's my advice to anyone that's feeling really down. It's like at
Yeah.
some point in time, you have to let it go and
Yeah.
move forward with the goodness that Charlie did and see how you're going to better the lives of others. That's my counsel.
Absolutely. Help thy neighbor. Give 5 hours and help your neighbors in need, and we'll change
Yeah.
the world by doing good deeds. And
Yeah.
honestly, I think this entire country and world, we need to help one another more than ever. And that's another I think it's people are doing a great job. We need more because there's too many people suffering alone, too many people that need help, that just need that helping hand. And I think that what's happening in regards to Charlie Kirk starting this whole ripple effect, it's really starting to make people think like I really could step up a little bit more in my community. I know there are people, I know neighbors that could use my help, but I always think, oh, someone else will take care of it. I'm too busy. But when that happens to us, when something happens to us, it's full circle, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
You
he
know,
always talked about the armor of God, right? I mean, that's just,
every morning and night.
and
Mhm.
remember, I'm not here to think that I'm a saint in Christ like. I'm the biggest sinner out there, right?
Mhm.
I talk a big talk, but I fail, I fall very short, but I
Yeah,
kneel
you're doing a
down,
good job.
I kneel down daily and pray. And we all, there was a famous quote, and I'll end with this so I can go. There was a famous quote in our church, a talk actually about lift where you stand. It was a story about a grand piano on
Mhm.
how you're going to lift a grand piano. And I've lifted a grand piano. If you notice that a grand piano is different weights at different corners of the grand piano, they're not all the same weight.
Mhm. Okay.
So my lifting is different than your lifting, Sharon, much different. Maybe
Mhm.
I can lift heavier than you can in
Mhm.
certain arenas. You can lift heavier or not as much in other
Oh,
arenas.
I'm rising up the divine feminine, buddy.
Right.
That's all I'm doing.
So what I'm
When they
saying
find
is,
out all the lies, they're gonna be like, "What?"
so I'm telling anyone out there that says, "Well, I can't do much, Kish. What am I going to do? I'm in a wheelchair or I'm here." Well, if you're in a wheelchair, I don't care. Donate $5 for, or donate $10 to an event that someone has to pay a seat for that's coming up.
Mhm.
Or I'm a millionaire. What do you need me to help do? Well, I need you to pay for my speaker. Or what can you do? I don't have anything, but I'm a military guy. Great. Come out and do tactical
Yeah,
training with us.
use your life and job skills.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
whatever you're
that's
going to
part of the
do,
thinking tank. Exactly.
that's my point to a meeting like this is lift where you can with what you have. That's what
Exactly.
it
I
is.
agree. And maybe a little less scrolling and a little more involvement because I think a lot of people, I mean, things are popping off, but
Yeah.
we got to have that balance to keep it under control. You know what I mean? Our local
Yeah.
communities. So listen, Kish, where can people find you on social media, et cetera, for our
Yeah.
viewers?
Yeah. On Instagram, it's Utah's Patriots. So it's plural Utah and plural Patriots. Utah's Patriots.
Hmm.
And on Facebook, it's just my name, Kish North, because Facebook doesn't like my Utah's Patriots. And then if they want, I can send you, we use a private Telegram chat as well. So people get up,
Yes.
because sometimes algorithms get screwed up and no one sees anything. So if you join the Telegram group, you'll always be on the know.
Yep, yep, that's a great channel. I sometimes I do micro dosing on Telegram. I mean, like everyone else, you could just keep going and going when you realize you got other things to do.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Are you in my
great.
Telegram?
You
Are you in
do
my
a
Telegram?
great job on your Telegram channel.
Maybe you can share that here then if you have that, because I think that'd be great to jump people in there. But yeah, I
Yep.
would do it. And if anyone is a strapping young or old man that has some gun training and is interested in getting involved, they
What
can reach.
about the women? I got a good shot. I'm a natural.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding you. I went up to Pittsburgh, New Hampshire. It's like in the middle of nowhere. Glenn and we collected our cans, and he's like, "We'll have fun. I'll show you how to shoot." I hit every can, and he's like, "How does
Well,
this work?" I'm like, "I don't know. I must
you
be
can
natural."
always hit a can with a 12 gauge. Come on. I'm just kidding.
Oh no, we had the handguns. We had everything. I'm a
Yeah, me too.
natural, so you need to clarify that, and the women as well, please and thank you.
All right.
There's some tough cookies out there.
No, 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 no disrespect to that. It was just
I
a
know.
yeah.
I'm just giving you a hard time. Well, thank you. Thank you. Any last words?
Jesus is king.
Could not agree with you more. I'm just so grateful for people like you, everyone else around the world jumping on this movement, people going to church. I have so many friends that are like, you know what? I feel the calling to go back to church, and I love that. It's the community. And I'm a big believer. All our religions in due time are going to become one, and it's going to be beautiful. And I want to thank you for your time. And for the viewers here, please, you want to catch our interview, join the Utah Community Thinking Tank. Even if you're all over the world, we have the best ideas to get you going and bring your people together. Handmade signs in neighborhoods. So when the people that are starting to awaken and panic, they will have a safe place right in your own hometown. They won't have to go looking. And we'd love to have you. And thanks a lot, Kish. I really
Thanks for
appreciate
having me on. I'm always
All
about.
right, buddy. Have
Thanks,
a great
guys.
day.
Yep.
All right. Bye bye.